Welcome to SVG-TV News for Tuesday, September 27th, 2016. I am Jennifer Richardson with the details. The National Emergency Management Organization, NEMO, is now into full preparation mode and is urging all citizens to follow suit. This is in anticipation of a tropical disturbance, which is expected to impact the country in a matter of hours. NEMO's Deputy Director, Michelle Forbes, told SVG-TV that the disturbance continues to strengthen and that a Hurricane Hunter aircraft was deployed to investigate the system this afternoon and provide a better idea as to the system's actual strength. Forbes, however, cautioned that persons should be prepared for severe weather conditions.
Regardless of any warnings being issued, we can expect heavy rains, gusty winds, possible landslide and flooding. Also, the forecast is showing that we can expect sea swells or waves up to 15 feet. This means that persons in the coastal areas, we are asking you to be extremely cautious. Once a warning is given, we recommend that you evacuate to higher ground, to the emergency shelters closest to you, and you need to move early. We want to single out areas like Gorse, Connery. In Kingstown, we have the Rose Place area. In the Grenadines, we need to be very cautious also, because many of the Grenadine communities are close to the coastline, and if we are expecting 10 to 15 feet sea waves or sea swells, then those areas will be critical and can have coastal flooding.
The Deputy Director of NEMO urged mariners to secure their boats as they will be damaged in the expected high tides, and appealed to persons living near to riverbanks to evacuate ahead of time in the event of any possible disaster.
We expect to start being impacted by at least the outer bands of this system by midnight tonight, at least the strong winds, and all day into tomorrow we can expect some continued deterioration as the system approaches us around 8 o'clock in the morning, as information from the Met Office. So it means that those areas, Georgetown, Basin Hole, Langley Park, Spring Village, Vermont, even Rose Place, because we know we tend to have flooding in those areas in the Grenadines, Union Island, Beckley, Canouan, that are prone to flooding. We want to encourage you to do not be complacent. Move if you need to move before. Evacuate to higher ground in the event of flooding, and don't take anything for granted.
Forbes urged persons to take the responsibility of also monitoring the system as it is swiftly changing.
It has changed even from this morning. It was speeding this morning. It has slowed down with its gathering strength. It's pulling together and becoming more organized. It means that if it slows down and becomes more organized, it's going to strengthen, and before it reaches here, it may be a storm. We expect it will be the next tropical storm will be Tropical Storm Matthew. Even if it does not form before St. Vincent, we expect it to get that formation sooner or later and be a named storm. From the National Emergency Management Organization point of view, we have been issuing information on this system since Thursday evening when it first came off the African coast via social media. We started issuing and asking persons to keep a close eye and monitor since Thursday evening. We continued into Friday, Saturday and Sunday. We would have briefed all the heads of the subcommittees on Friday evening as to the impending system and the potential for development. We would have briefed the acting Prime Minister on Saturday evening and advised him that we may need to meet as early as Monday.
Meantime, the Animal Health and Production Division is advising all livestock farmers to remove animals from riverbanks and slopes and make proper provision to secure pens for animals where possible. Vincentians are being urged to make full provision for proper water storage during the passage of the tropical disturbance expected to start affecting the island from midnight. Public Relations and Marketing Manager of the Central Water and Sewerage Authority, the CWSA, Joan Ryan, said that all water systems throughout the country will be interrupted during the course of the night. Ryan said the CWSA is obliged to take such precautionary measures in an effort to maintain a quality service and product for its customers.
Due to the passage of the impending tropical system and the likelihood of landslides, mudslides and flooding, that water supplied from all of our systems to all areas of the country will be interrupted during the passage of the storm, beginning from 11:30 p.m. on Tuesday night. This interruption will be necessary because of the expected deterioration in river water quality to what would essentially be muddy water. This action is expected to safeguard both the quality and the quantity of available water after the passage of the system. The CWSA therefore urges all residents to put plans in place now to increase household water storage during the passage of the storm, when water supply will most likely have to be rationed. Normal supply will be restored as soon as conditions allowed.
Ryan, however, gave the assurance that the CWSA is fully prepared in the event that the expected system becomes disastrous, and further noted that water will be restored in a swift manner.
The CWSA over the years have been vigilant in restoring water after the passage of any system in our country, and should this system develop into something that creates any kind of damage within our country and affect the water supply, we will continue to operate in that mode to ensure that water is restored in the quickest possible time. Our staff are mobilized. Our emergency plan have already been activated and put in place. Basically, everybody at the CWSA know exactly what is required of them prior to and following the passage of any system.
And the Ministry of Health, Wellness and the Environment said, as a consequence of the advisories issued by the National Emergency Management Organization, NEMO, the general public must take note of the following. There will be no district clinics on Wednesday, September 28th, and that there will also be no outpatient services or elective surgeries at the Milton Cato Memorial Hospital, also on Wednesday, September 28th, that's tomorrow. The ministry is also advising persons to immediately secure their medication in a plastic or Ziploc bag, and in the event that they have to relocate, they should take their medication with them in the very plastic or Ziploc bag. Persons are advised to monitor their radio or social media for further bulletins issued by the National Emergency Management Organization and the Ministry of Health, Wellness and Environment, and to remain safe and alert. In an effort to create more awareness about the country's multi-million-dollar geothermal energy project, the Department of Energy and the Prime Minister's Office, in collaboration with the St. Vincent Geothermal Company Limited, hosted 2 public meetings last weekend in the Orange Hill and Newgrounds areas. Members of the public were invited to attend and provide feedback on the project, including impacts and mitigation measures for the planned road work and infrastructure scheduled to start on the Lassafray Road. Highlighting that civil work on the project will soon commence, Director of Energy Ellsworth Dakin noted that the meetings served as an avenue for the public to engage in open discussion with the geothermal company to share their views and concerns on the project.
Update of the project and really show you ways of how you could lodge your concerns and your grievances as we go forward. And you have a presentation that will outlay what's the next steps and what we're about to do in the next couple of weeks as we're about to venture into the civil contract. So we're about to do the civil works, which involves the expansion of the road, and we just want to explain to you what is about to happen and how you could lodge your concerns, and you could speak up this afternoon, whatever questions you have.
Thanking Retrovic Geothermal and Emera for their continued support in developing the project, Acting Prime Minister and Area Representative Montgomery Daniel expressed his elation at the commencement of the project.
It is my understanding that in a matter of a few weeks, actual work will start. And I'm sure that there are others who are very happy that the project has reached this stage where we are about to see the fruits of this project. Government has allocated some 200 acres for this project. Of course, 200 acres is a vast amount of lands. But the government has taken this decision because we do not know what future requirements are going to be.
Noting that not only the landscape would be impacted by the project, Environment and Social Manager of the Geothermal Consortium, Herman Childs, highlighted that a compensation process is being put in place to address public concerns.
Disturbances, injury, damage that are being caused by the project activities as the project basically continues. Restricted access to natural resources without notification, damage to common and private assets, sustained losses, impacts on the natural environment and community and health. We will have all that set in place, especially in terms of health and safety. All those things are being put in place. In other words, we are not leaving any stone unturned in addressing the concerns of the communities, not only people in the project area, but nationally. The project is everybody's project. It's our project. And when I say ours, I mean St. Vincent and the Grenadines. This is your project. Something is bothering about this project in terms of the noise, the dust. Well, you know, I ain't getting enough water in my house because I'm living down the Rebecca area. Can somebody help me with that? Yes, we will have a community, as I said, a community liaison officer will be in place. You will have these sheets where you can fill this, where you can fill up these forms, and we will respond to you in a timely fashion.
The opposition New Democratic Party, the NDP, has said it is against the sale of lands in Mount Twin Peters Hope area to Canadian investors. At a media conference today, a leader of the NDP, Annie Musis, said such a move by the government contributes to the marginalization of Vincentians. Musis outlined that the $7 million Eastern Caribbean dollar price tag was insufficient for the prime real estate area. He noted that this amounts to $5.18 per square foot, when usually the cost in that location would be around $15 to $20 per square foot.
We are totally against the sale of Mount Twin Peters Hope to foreign interests. I want to repeat this. We are totally against the sale of Mount Twin Peters Hope to foreign interests, thereby denying unborn Vincentian generations an opportunity to take a stake in their own land and therefore be reduced to second-class citizens. That is the position of the New Democratic Party.
And Vice President of the NDP, St. Clair Leacock, said that there is something fishy about the sale of lands to the Canadian investors, which has been facilitated by the statutory corporation, National Properties.
It costs the taxpayers for the existence of National Properties. We don't benefit from it. And you know why that is so? It is part of a political, financial Ponzi scheme. We do not know which lands represent assets, and we don't know which sets of lands represent inventory. You sell it today, and it could have been a piece of land, or it could have been a piece of what was inventory. But just get rid of the lands for money. What is $7 million to Vincentians compared to national property? Not property, sorry. That to the pride and the joy that we should have and for owning things in St. Vincent.
Two employees of the Banfield gas station have been left traumatized after being attacked and robbed at gunpoint. According to police reports, two female employees of the said business place were tallying the day stake when a male in a dark grey long-sleeve shirt and a cap pulled over his face entered the building brandishing a firearm and demanding the money. The police report further stated that the assailant fled the scene with the money, leaving the employees unhurt. No one has been arrested up to news time. An appeal has been made for this country's youth to resist marijuana use as it can pose long-term health problems. The advice came from Tyrone Jack during last Sunday's Hit Talk program when he pointed out some of the linkages between marijuana use and several diseases and encouraged persons to make their health a priority.
I already tried marijuana with inducing psychosis, with reducing IQ, with causing respiratory conditions, it has bone effect, it has effect on family planning, and several more.
Health District Pharmacy Supervisor Colicia Mingo expressed the opinion that while marijuana is now legal for several reasons in many parts of the world, there is still much research that needs to be done for countries like SVG before it is legalized.
It's widely used, we know that. In the States, it's been, we can say to some extent, legalized in many states for recreational use. Some states allow it for medicinal use, but it's still, yes, like Colorado, and it's still, but it's still considered illegal. Marijuana has a place in treatment, in therapy. It has been proven by studies that it can treat asthma, glaucoma, it can work as an antidepressant, appetite stimulant, an anticonvulsant or anti-seizure drug, antispasmodic. But these things need further research, and we have to weigh what benefit can be had in using it to treat the things that it can against the risks that it poses.
And medical practitioner Dr. Michael Goodluck said that it is disturbing to know that persons use marijuana without having a proper understanding of the effects of the herb.
See what happened, this chemical, the THC, it binds to the receptors and it causes what we call the mind-altering effect on the brain. In other words, it dictates and allows the brain to do what it normally, naturally, how God intends. So the person's behavior and other neurologic activities will be completely misplaced.
Its talk on Sunday, September 25th was held in commemoration of World Pharmacy Day, which was observed under the theme, Pharmacists Caring for You. Working in harmony and not in conflict with stakeholders is what the Carnival Development Corporation will be seeking to do for the further development of the festival. Speaking at a retreat held over the weekend hosted by the Calypsonians Association, Chairman of the CDC, Ricardo Adams, gave the assurance that the organization is committed to work in harmony with all stakeholders.
First thing is we're committed to work in harmony with all aspects of our culture. And that means we're committed to work in harmony with the Calypso Association, with all of the components, with the people in the public sector, with the people in the religious sector, with the people in the security sector, because everybody has a part to play. The tourism industry depends on Vincy Mas being a good festival and a growing festival to help us to grow our tourism numbers. The entertainment industry, and there's a lot of controversy over the entertainment industry, but they depend on us to be able to bring people here so that they can have a lot of the parties that they have. The people who do t-shirts, etc. So all of those things are important, and so therefore the question of working in harmony and not in conflict is very important on our agenda.
President of the Calypsonians Association, Earl Bennett, said the development and renewal of the Calypso art form is important for it to remain relevant.
A lot of time we aim and focus like a laser beam on competitions rather than development. And that part of our culture we are going to look at very closely. We need development, we need renewal for this art form to remain relevant. So we are going to focus on the juniors, we're going to ask persons with the expertise to help us. As I said before, we don't have all the answers. We're also going to have an outreach to different Calypso fraternities. We want to look at what they have done well. I have been told that Dominica is doing extremely well in Calypso. Why is that so? We need to examine that. Because for certain, we can do better. And we aim to do better.
Bennett also called on all parties to work together in helping to create a plan which would aid the growth and development of the Calypso art form.
I know success is relative, but as an executive, we believe that we were relatively successful. We saw some innovations, and we're not going to rest on our laurels. Neither are we going to put our head, like the proverbial ostrich, in the sand and do not look at our challenges and our problems. Ladies and gentlemen, I encourage you, when we sit down to put our heads together, and at the end of the day, you will help us in developing a 4-year strategic plan to ensure that Calypso grows from strength to strength, and culture and citizens will be better for all of it. Once again, welcome and I thank you.